All right, so take two on this, a little bit different of a kind of video, and I wanted to make a realistic way to succeed, like the channel name is called, We're All Gonna Make It. So practical stuff on what somebody just out of college might their financial situation be, and how much they're making, how much they owe. This is just random money, from part-time job. You have a few $100 in checking and in savings, because your mom or dad told you to throw $100 in savings, so they gave it to put it in your savings. Don't touch it, and we'll pretend for the sake of argument that you have some money from investing in AMC, or your profits from GameStop that you didn't pull out all the rest of, or you got Dogecoin or Ethereum or some other crypto. A lot of people have that. This is a little more than I had. Then we'll say you got credit cards and you owe money on a car and you owe about $20,000 in student loans. A lot of times the loans will be two different things. Hopefully you're able to owe only $20,000 in loans. It's not going to make too much of a difference overall if you do, or if you owe $20,000 or quite a bit more, at least not on the short-term time scale. So let's put that in there. It'll be in the budget. Let me show Liz. This is about what it's going to look like. Hopefully, you're able to get a job making $50,000. I was not. I was only making about 30 after college. I applied for one job and I got it, and I got it through a referral. It was for a small business. Small businesses don't pay super well, so that's kind of on me that I wasn't able to do that. I did a lot to reduce my other expenses, though. And, probably partied a bit too much, but say hopefully this is a realistic budget for you guys and you can use it to succeed. So you're going to have stuff you can't really get around. If you have a car, you got to keep making payments on that. Maybe your parents were helping you out while you're in college and they said, well, now you're out of college, you got to pay for it yourself, or something like that. Or maybe you bought a car for, we'll say, hopefully a good price, only about $5,000 for something that runs. One of the two. We'll hope you're making those payments on a reasonable amount. Your new job, maybe they don't, you're entry level, so they're not paying for all your health insurance, so you're paying $200 a month on that. If you're 22 and you're healthy and young, I don't really think it's worth it. It's probably better to put the money in savings for a couple years and use that as a makeshift health savings account. I've spent thousands of dollars in health insurance and used zero of the benefits. I would say though that dental, vision, life insurance, stuff like that's probably going to be more worth it because it's going to be on the order of dollars a month as opposed to hundreds of dollars a month. If your employer is able to pay for this, then that's fantastic. That's $200 extra a month that you're saving. I tried to err on the side of you're spending more than you should on everything. I $130 a month on gas. Unless you drive a long distance to work. Hopefully you don't have to do that. If you're paying $1,200 a month for rent, if you're driving a long distance to work every single day, you might go a little bit over, especially if you don't have an efficient car. But I say $400 a month for groceries. You're going to have to learn to cook to do this. Maybe I'll be making some cooking videos in the future. But $400 a month, if you get like a big bag of the chicken leg quarters or something, yeah, you can get like a 10-pound bag. Even if you go to Publix or Winn-Dixie and massively overpay, it's going to cost you $20. And that's a week worth of meat for one person. For the first year I was married, we were spending less than this on groceries. For me and my wife, and she was pregnant for half of that time. More than half that time. So $400 you can probably do. You're not going to be eating steak all the time, unless, of course, I gave this little allowance section. It's really $400, but we'll say you have Spotify or YouTube Premium, or Apple Play, Apple Music, whatever that's called. One of those premium apps that you use. $400 a month for everything. If you got a job, you're finally able to afford to buy, new video games. You want to buy, a console. That's, a month and a half or 2 months worth of your, self-given allowance. Or you want to buy some games. You want to get a new monitor, headset. It's something that will let you, live a little without breaking the bank. And we'll suppose you're a health conscious person. You're spending $40 a month on supplements. 'Cause you found some fancy multivitamin. You feel better when you do that. Or, maybe you're taking some weird nootropic thing. A lot of people do stuff like that. Rent $1,200 a month. I would love to say it's lower. Actually, and when I was researching this, I was like, yeah, 1,000 probably is reasonable for one person, but 1,200 in a lot of areas, you're going to have a hard time getting below that. Um, if you have the privacy to be able to, what we did when I went out of college is we rented out a house for 3 people, and we just kind of let various people stay in the spare room. Officially they didn't live there, but with a property inspection once a year, you can totally get away with that. I'm not saying you should. That's what I did, and it saved me a few $100s a month for years, which I, then wasted on dumb stuff because I didn't have a nice little, $400 allowance for myself. So I just did whatever I wanted. Utilities for 150. If you're able to share this with 1, 2, or 3 other people, you can get this below 150. Auto insurance, also I put 150 for that. That's a lot. Hopefully, in the couple years that you've been driving since college, you haven't been in many accidents. I think there were some points where I was paying quite a bit more than that in insurance. I was in the 250, 300 a month range. Not good, but hopefully by the time you're 22 and out of college, you've established at least a decent enough driving record. Maybe a ticket or two, but not a bunch of accidents like I had. $50 for internet. And hopefully you're able to share that so you can get nice internet for 50. But a lot of providers will have a basic $50 a month internet package. Yeah, if you need faster internet really for work and stuff, then you'll be saving money on gas. So it's about that. Health savings account, say 150. Just money you put aside for health expenses. There's tons of tax benefits to doing that, but I'm not a tax advisor. But it is a good thing to do. You use it, if you're sick, need some cough medicine, or you go to a doctor's office and oh, it's a $80 deductible. You use the health savings account to pay for the deductible and then for whatever drugs they prescribe you. $100 a month for charity. Don't have to do this. Some people's religions will say you should do more than 100. I think most of the religions are normally pretty good about if you're like broke and can't make ends meet. It's okay to give a little bit less, but if it's really important, you can of course increase this. Probably take it out of your own allowance. But $100 a month, not a bad starting point, and it gives you opportunities. For somebody is in need. Maybe you want to help them out a little bit, or you stumble across something to help feed kids or whatever. It gives you money to do that, and the money's set aside, and it helps give you a mindset of looking for people to help, and people who give money to charity are more thankful for what they have. So it's great for that because it'll make you feel less squeezed. Even this hang on a second. Yeah, sounds good. Retirement. So this number for retirement is 4%. The reason I chose 4% is because a lot of employers will match 4% of your retirement, or 4% of your income goes towards retirement. So 4% of K4, that's monthly. What is this? Sorry, I gotta fix this slightly. This equals this divided by 12. And this. Oh, actually, I went about this kind of a weird way. The way. What did I do? Sorry, I gotta make some on-the-fly corrections. Divided by 4. is this calculating correctly? This is K10. What is this? Is all this is kind of weird. I think I may have some calculation mistakes in this, but it is, erring on the side of caution. I think I might be understating your income. Let's see, K10. This is based off the K5 figure, so the whole thing is good. It was just the weekly and monthly were a little bit off. Okay, so retirement. Oh, yep, retirement's a little bit off. So we'll just adjust this and say you weren't quite able to afford the full 4%. You had to do a little bit less. 147.84. That's your goal. That's what you'd like to be, but ultimately only made it to there. We'll say also Amazon Prime. You're paying $10 a month for that. I think that's how much it is for a student version. You're paying $85 a month on credit cards, and you're just putting $20 a month in savings. It's not much, but it's getting you there. So let's see what happens after a few months of that. I repopulated these. This is based off you getting a job like tomorrow. And we'll say 6 months. Change the font to black. And this is a bit more of a net worth tracker. So your savings has stayed the same, your checking account has gone up, and you'll notice that one of your credit cards is paid off. So you're saving a little bit more. Now you're getting $45 a month instead of $20 a month. You could go back and edit all this, but we'll get to that later on. You have a little bit in saved for retirement. We'll get to what that's going to look like later. You're saving a little bit for retirement. You're saving. You're not touching any of your random Doge coins and GME and all that stuff. Hopefully you don't still have GameStop stock, but companies that actually have a business model like AMC might be okay to hold that. Not that I'm giving advice, but I got rid of my GameStop long ago. And you're slowly paying down your credit cards, your car. Student loan payments, I believe the way most of them are is you don't have to pay them until you've been out of school for 9 months. So you still haven't made any grounds on that. But let's hop over to the next budget for when you turn 23. I made the assumption in all of these that you're not getting any raises because it's nice to plan for that kind of stuff. So you're still making car payments. You're paying a little bit less on credit cards because you got them paid off. You're able to. Give me a second. I just want to copy this real quick. Okay, we fixed that. Oh, that's not what I meant to copy. Copy. There's the function and the control keys are in different spots in my work computer and personal computer. So I mixed that up. So your financial picture is looking a little bit, are very, very much the same. Biggest difference is I merged that premium app and your personal allowance into one, and I dropped $50 off because now you're 23, you're a big boy, got to start paying off your student loans. Still have more than enough money for groceries, hopefully. Also, this household expense, this is just, man, I should have got water before I started this video. This is just, if you need toilet bowl cleaner or, Windex, some paper towels, stuff like that. $50 a month should be a good amount. So you're doing a little bit better. Now you're putting $75 a month in savings as well. So situation is starting to look better. And let's go check out the net worth for the next year of doing that. Alrighty. So reset. All right. So your savings is doing a lot better. You have $1,000 in savings. Also, I have this little thing of, the way I'm calculating the minimum expenses. Just the way I'm assuming is, if you were to lose your job, you wouldn't be getting health insurance through your employer, so you wouldn't be having your portion of the payment. I don't know why I said you don't need to pay internet. You do need to pay internet probably to apply for jobs. Obviously, you wouldn't be putting money into savings if you're living off your savings. You wouldn't be putting money into health savings account because that's all handled through your employer, and you have to have an active health insurance policy to do stuff like that. But the minimum expenses, the cost for 6 months, and how many months for you to save there at your current savings rate. Not great, but at this point, after let's see, I need to make this readable. That's what I need to do. Reset. There we go. So May 2025, about a year and a half doing this. You got 1,000 in savings. I actually wanted to move this a little bit further. Yeah. Let's just make this whole thing readable. Text color black. Okay, so you've been doing this. You got another credit card paid off. No, you got at this point you got your car paid off. After a year and a half, 2 years of making payments. The way I assumed it was you were paying $300 a month, and $250 of that's going towards principal. It's going to fluctuate over time, but I just kind of did that because it's easy to average out. So July 2025, you're able to actually start saving because you don't have $300 a month burning a hole in your pocket. And my assumption on the student loans is you're not really paying anything. You're not getting anything paid down. A lot of the repayment plans, as long as you're making a payment, the amount you owe doesn't go down with the new thing that was passed. So as long as you're paying enough to cover the interest, you should be good. I think I have that as $50 on mine and my wife's interest combined. Even if we're not on one of those plans, it's about $50 to cover all the interest because we borrowed when rates were low. You can refinance or whatever, and it'll be a matter of $20 or $30 probably in either direction if you're able to get good refinancing. But July, after about 2 years of working, paying off your car, now you're actually able to start putting money away, $300. So now we can actually start hitting our retirement goals. So we'll say we're actually paying $166.67 a month towards retirement. And at this point, where's my savings line item? I did not put in a savings line item on here because this is kind of an intermediary budget, but I still can adjust that to make it good. So a lot of this is wait, is this the same as the previous one? Yeah, this is pretty much the same as the previous one. The only difference is now that you're 24, your auto insurance has gone down because you've been responsible for the last 2 years, and maybe something dumb you did when you were 19 fell off your license. So you're doing a little bit more, and that's why you can start saving the full amount for retirement. On to 25. This is where things start to get better. So now you're saving $350 a month because you're no longer paying off your car. You're no longer paying off 3 credit cards. You're only paying off 1. You're still paying on those student loans. And yeah, things are mostly the same. Hopefully by the time you're 25, you've gotten a raise or a promotion, and then you've been able to go to another company and say, now I'm not a junior, I'm an associate, so I should get associate money. And you could be making, if you're switching jobs and smart about it, you could be making another $10,000 a year, and you're living pretty good, spending $400 a month on whatever you want. I don't even spend that much on whatever I want, whatever my wife wants, and whatever my kids want. What I will say, if your girlfriend costs you more than $400 a month, I'm not gonna say it's not going to work out, but if she costs you $400 a month when you don't have much money, she's going to cost you a lot more than that when you do have money. So be warned on that. Hopefully, she's about to inherit a huge chunk of money and she can just spend her own money. But this is what things will probably start looking like after you've been saving for a few years. You'll notice that your minimum expenses hasn't really gone down that much. We got to add internet back in because I forgot to do that. But now you're saving so much, it'll only take you 42 months to get there. which is pretty good. That's another 3.5 years. So by the time you're 28, you'd have that much to live on. Probably after 3 years of spending $400 a month on whatever you want, you're starting to think about being responsible, and maybe you don't need to spend this much on your whatever you want money, so you could increase your savings. Uh, for me right now, that's 200 for me and my wife. So if you were going to be doing something like this, you'd be saving 550 instead, which would be pretty awesome. And then you're looking at 2 years to have a 6 month cushion, um, which puts you really far ahead of most other 27-year-olds if you have 6 months expenses saved up. I have 6 months expenses saved up right now. That's because I'm not paying rent, but I'm pretty close to having it even if I was paying rent. Um, Now let's look at, when you're 25 and beyond. Is this actually any different? Um, what is the difference here? There's no actual difference. Oh yeah, this is kind of the example of what you might be doing. Here, let me undo these changes real quick. Yes, this might be what you're doing. I just did 150 more to savings, so pretty much the same 28 months as opposed to 27 months. You're definitely making progress, and you can start to push that down now that you're not feeling so stressed about everything. You can maybe put a little bit of effort into looking at more jobs, and things start rolling in. So now every 25-year-old wants to know about retirement and when they're going to be able to stop working now that they just got their job after 2 months. Let's take a look at the retirement picture. So this is you don't have my $3,000 that I had when I started saving for retirement. You don't get that. That's mine. So this is $290 a month. If we go back to this number, that's this times two, assuming you're getting the employer match. So this is you're putting away $290 a month. The amount of interest I'm calculating is 8%. Per year divided by $12. That's based off of the average S&P 500 return. What on earth am I doing with this formula? Okay, yeah. Oh, this was just here. That's why that was there. So that's the average S&P 500 return over. I don't remember, some arbitrary amount of time. I think it was 30 or 40 years. I cannot say that you would expect that returns will continue. Your financial advisor can't say that. But I will say that there is a lot of political incentive to keep the economy growing at a nice, good rate. And, when your country's spending all that money on military power to make sure people keep buying, U.S., whatever, buying stuff from Halliburton and Raytheon and all that stuff. I think my retirement is assuming you can actually get that kind of return. So you only make like $2 your first month, and down here I have little things for how old you're going to be at different points. So assuming you turned 22 at the beginning of the year, or you'll turn 23 at some point in your second year. I think this is, I forget how many rows is this. This is 17 rows. So that's, maybe you'd graduate around May and you start saving for retirement in June. Ignore that these dates or the net worth tracker is based off starting in October or November. Oh, wait, no, is it November? It's November. Just ignore that. We'll pretend you're starting in June. And from age 24 to 34, that's all you're paying. You're only putting in $145 a month. Your employer's matching. That's all you're getting out of it. You're not able to increase that until you're almost 35. One thing, let's pop back over the net worth tracker. You're probably, by the time you're this age, you're thinking about saving for retirement. Or sorry, not saving for retirement, trying to buy a house. Your savings amount's not super great for buying a house, but depending on the structure of your retirement account, you can borrow against it, interest-free, to use that as down payment assistance for your house. So you can also look into what your state offers. A lot of states will offer, a second mortgage for like $10,000, an additional down payment and closing cost assistance. So your actual cash on hand isn't super great, but between borrowing against your retirement and uh, whatever programs your state may have, you should be able to find. You'll at least have something. I'm not saying $20,000 is what you're gonna need. You might need a lot more than that, but your progress is better. You could have potentially $26,000 just based off of what you see here already for a down payment ready to go. There's also a lot of stuff through Housing and Urban Development in different states that will make it so you don't need as much money down. And stuff like that. You probably want to raise before you buy a house. But let's pop back over to retirement. So if you're, we'll say that's why you're only you're only paying this little money towards your insurance, is because by the time you're 28, 29, you bought a house. That would be really great, but it's not completely unheard of if you're looking at a budget like this. So you're just paying money towards down payment. Maybe you're paying a little bit on private mortgage insurance, and that's why you can't. But we'll say by the time you're closing in on 35, you're finally able to double your retirement account contributions to $600 a month. You got enough money sitting around. You have a whole year's worth of savings, something like that. So you do that up to 600. You do that for 12 years. And you're 45, $300,000, and 46, and closing in on 47, you decide to double it again. Again, this is super like shorthand, just to kind of simulate what you might be able to do. You'll probably have a more even curve if you're doing it as a percent of your income. And here at age of 50, you have $500,000 in retirement. Not bad at all. At this point, you'll notice. Actually, it's been the case for quite some time here that you're making more in interest per month on average than you are actually contributing. So we'll say you can keep on giving this much to your retirement. Hopefully by 58 or so, you're close to having your house paid off, so you can keep up the pace. And it looks like at the age of 57, right before your 58th birthday, you got $1 million in your retirement account. Pretty good. And because you have $1 million, you're getting up there in age. You decide, I'm going to dial back my retirement contributions. Ignore that bold. You can totally do something like that. And by the time you're 65, I was born in May, but by the end of the year you turn 65, you have $2 million in retirement money. Based off the rule of 4%, you should be able to turn that into, they say you can safely, the thing the experts say is you can safely withdraw about 4% of your retirement, or of a interest growing account every year without eating into it, is the amount you can safely withdraw. So 4% of $2 million, that's $80,000 a year. And just like that, you have money for retirement. It's about to be a baby crying inside, so I will see you guys next time.